goat lovers, Crystal here with Blue Cactus Dairy Goats, and this here is Miss Bessie. Now Bessie is one of the senior does that we did intend to sell when we listed all the kids for sale. However, if you've seen where we mentioned it in previous videos, we really only gave about a week for that sale to take place, and then we closed it off. So there just wasn't enough time for all of the goats to sell, and that is fine. So Bessie's sire is Legend, and her dam is a doe we no longer have, and her name was Cactus Flower Gold Dust. Bessie here is 3 years old. She has had 3 kiddings and given us a total of 7 beautiful kids. So she is gold, and she has extensive white overlay, and she's got those beautiful blue eyes, doesn't she? Bessie here is a 2-star milker, and she really makes a lot of milk with a really high butter fat content. So obviously that is a huge perk. She has a gorgeous udder, very well attached, very dairy, and has just really awesome, easy to milk teats. So as far as Bessie's temperament, she is absolutely one of the sweetest goats you can come by. Now I know I say they're all sweet, and some are a lot sweeter than others, but Bessie is by far at the top of the list there. Just a doll. And now we have beautiful Pepper. Pepper's sire is Castle Rock Coulter Pine, and her dam is CA Blackberry's Peach Blossom. Now this girl is 2 years old. She has had 2 kiddings and given us a total of 4 beautiful kids. So she is also a 2-star milker. She is one of the does I did want to just get milk tested this year, so I did a 1-day milk test, and she blew it out of the water. So she earned her milk star, exceeding the 7 points. The 7 points needed to earn it. I think it was like 9 or 10 points. So she makes a lot of milk. She has a gorgeous udder, super well attached, and just a really outstanding doe. And so she is black, and she has some random white. So she's got the little tip of her tail that's white, her little poll, and just a couple marks on her side. So as far, oh, and she's got those stunning blue eyes that look so gorgeous on a black goat. Oh, they're just so pretty. So as far as Pepper's temperament, she is very calm. She's a very calm girl. Now granted, she's only 2, so as she gets older, she could potentially get more dominant, but as far as her being dominant in the herd, she doesn't do a lot of that. She just kind of wants to be left alone, do her own thing, and doesn't really want to fight much. So I love that about her. She is also a quiet goat. When she first freshens, she gets a little vocal, but that quickly goes away once the new milking routine begins, and she's good to go. And of course, she's another one that I have come to love very much. Ain't that right? And I also have a daughter out of her, which is why I really wanted to get her on milk test, because Piper is her daughter, and I didn't want there to be any lapse in generations as far as the milk star is concerned. So again, this doe, Peach Blossom, is a 1-star milker, so then she earned her star. Pepper here, making her a 2-star milker, and Piper also earned her milk star this year, you guys, so she is a 3-star milker. And had I not put her on test, then Piper would have just started back over as a 1-star milker. And now we have Miss Jazzy Ray. Her sire is Lucky, and her dam is a dam that we no longer have, was Cactus Flower Nanger, but we called her Ruby. Ray here is 3 years old. She has had 2 freshens, and only 2 freshens because when she was a yearling, she was just really small when it was time for her to breed. So I decided to hold off. So she was 2 before she actually kidded. She is going crazy for the beans here, aren't you, girl? Here. So Ray has given us a total of 5 gorgeous kids, 1 of which I kept this year. So Ray is another doe that I did put on milk test this year. So she is a 3-star milker, And she also kind of just blew it out of the park. She makes a lot of milk, and to be quite honest, she has one of my favorite udders of the does in the herd, but just a beautiful, beautiful doe, and she produces a lot of milk, especially for a second freshener, because as time goes, they will produce more and more up until they mature, which is 4 to 5 years old, and that is their peak maturity. So the fact that she earned her star with as many points as she earned, because you only need 7, like I said, and she got 9.5 points, so that's not a little deal there. So as a second freshener, she is doing really, really well. She is gorgeous. She's one of the coolest coat pattern goats that I think that we have had born here under Blue Cactus. So she is just a dark buckskin, but she has roaning all over her body, so it just gives it such a different, unique look, and she's just so pretty. So she is a smaller doe. She's not one of the bigger does that we have, but she is pretty much just a gorgeous doe in a small package, but her udder does not lack from that. Still, again, really nice large udder, super well attached, and just a gorgeous doe. So Ray here, as far as her temperament is concerned, she's also pretty chilled, but she will fight if needed. She's not one to shy away from a good headbutt and fight, but she definitely doesn't try to start them. So she's a quiet doe. She's an easy doe to keep around, and I just love her, to be honest. And lastly is Miss Tippy here. So Tippy's sire is Merle, and her dam is Cactus Flower Tanzania, and we called her Tansy. And Tippy is a 2-star milker. So Tippy is one of those does that makes a crazy amount of butter fat also. So she produces, she's going being crazy, but she produces a lot of milk, and also keeps her butter fat up really, really high. I'd say probably her average of butter fat is like a 7 or 8, even when she has the max amount of milk that she's producing for a season. So just really, really awesome. Obviously great for cheese making, soap making, all of those good things that we love the Nigerian milk for. Now Tippy is gold, and she does have some random white on her. But one of my favorite things about Tippy, her coat pattern anyway, is this white face. It's just too funny. So she has a white face, and it kind of makes her look like she's getting ready to act out as a clown. So how the clowns just kind of paint their faces white and then have those red lips, but hers are pink. And she's also blue-eyed, and she's polled, or naturally hornless. Isn't that right? So she's another really, really exceptional doe, to be honest. I really, really, really appreciate the strength in this doe, the dariness of this doe, and she's got like elastic skin. It's just amazing. Of course, my alarm's going off to water, so hold on. So as far as Tippy's temperament, she is a lot like Bessie, to be honest. She's one of my snuggle bugs. She likes to just kind of hang out and rub her head on your legs and get her scratches and her loves. She's not a loud goat. She's not one of those screamer goats. No way, not you. And she isn't real aggressive with the rest of the does either. She does stand her own. They all kind of have to. Some does will run away from a fight, but not this girl. She will fight you, but she doesn't want to, if that makes sense. But she's just a real sweet girl, huh? Alright, so what is the plan for these 4 does? They will also be for sale in the spring when we sell the new babies. So they are going to be really, really great new additions for some happy new owners. And of course next year we'll get a lot more time for people to be notified about the sale. There's only 8 does that I intend to breed this year, my keeper does. They are going to be my breeder does for this kidding, or for this breeding season. And so I need to decide whether or not I'm going to add these 4 and breed them. Most of me wants to breed them and some of me doesn't, just because I really do want to kind of just not have so many does giving birth. It is a lot of work. I might just stay with the 8 I intended, but it would also be really hard to not be breeding healthy breeder does, ain't that right? So, yet to be decided whether or not I actually do breed these 4, but potentially. Okay guys, so I did intend on going over the 5 does that I will be keeping and decided to retire. However, there is a big black sky behind us and I'm lucky that it hasn't started raining on us already. So I'm gonna get in the house and get started on something else. Alright guys, so I made it back in the house just in time to not get rained out and start on another one of our best sellers. So we're back in the kitchen today and we are gonna be making our awesome sage bar. So this bar happens to be one of my husband's favorite bars, and it's because it smells so amazing. However, it is a perfect bar for male or female, and everybody absolutely loves it. Take a look at this gorgeous bar here. And when we were planning the sage bar, what my goal was is to have like a sage bush in here. So the green is for the actual leaves of the sage, and then sage produces little purple flowers when it blooms. So this here is the inside of the sage bar. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to start with our base oils here, which may or may not include olive oil, castor oil, shea butter, and coconut oil. And to that, we are going to add this lovely organic sage essential oil. So sage oil has anti-inflammatory and antifungal properties that help cleanse the skin, remove toxins, and treat minor abrasions, blemishes, stretch marks, sores, and swelling. And then we are going to use some Nigerian Dwarf fresh raw goat milk. Thank you to my ladies. Okay, so now we just gotta blend the oils and milk all together until it is smooth and completely incorporated. Here we go. Okay, that is perfect. Okay, so another thing that I'm actually doing when I blend initially the milk and the oils, so milk will separate as it sits, and even though mine is really fresh and it doesn't sit for very long before I utilize it or make soap out of it, it still does separate a little bit. And what it does is the butter fat is going to sit on top. So when you shake it up and you try to mix it all together, of course before I pour it in, it just kind of makes little tiny clumps in the milk, and so I make sure to blend that until I don't see any of those little tiny butter fat particles. It's not going to hurt the soap if they're in there, but again, I just like a real smooth, awesome, even consistency. The next step is pouring in the lye. Now I'm just going to pour it over my stick blender here, very carefully and slowly. You don't want it to splash. There we go. And now with my blender, I'm not going to emulsify it yet. What I want to do is just get it completely stirred in, all of the oils, the milk, and the lye. And you can see that, so if you guys can see that, so it's not blended in here, but the darker color is, it turns a little bit darker once that lye is actually mixed in with the oils and milk. So what I'm looking for is just an even, consistent top here where it's all the same color, and then I will know it's mixed in completely. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. As far as aromatherapy in sage, it's also very, very beneficial. It's calming, it eases anxiety, it just makes you feel a lot more relaxed, and just lightens your mood, improves your mood, rather. So, who doesn't need a little of that in their life from time to time? So now I'm just going to put my stick blender to the side, and now move over my oils here. Okay. So now I have 3 ingredients that are going to be added. First, for the green portion, or the leaves, I have French green clay and spirulina. Now, French green clay is awesome for a very gentle exfoliant. Just kind of lightly scrubs away dead skin cells and just opens up the pores. And as far as the spirulina, it is amazing for skin regeneration. So it just keeps your skin looking young and healthy. And then we have purple Brazilian clay here, which is a very awesome, very mild clay also. So this clay has the same benefits as the French green clay, and it's just gonna, again, make a very mild exfoliant, helping scrub away dead skin cells, keeping your skin looking fresh. Alright, so before I blend anything together, because this is kind of a pattern, not kind of, it is a pattern soap, and I'm going to use the hanger swirl technique on it. So I don't want this soap really, really thick. So if I were to emulsify it and get it turning into soap right now, then when I blend everything together in these little containers, I'm just kind of chasing it and hoping it doesn't get too thick on me. And then the hanger swirl cuts through it rather than glides through to give me the design I'm looking for. So I'm not going to blend it yet until I put it into here. And I don't need a lot of the purple Brazilian. There we go. And then I need a full cup of the green. So I'm going to use a lot more green. That is good. So I'm just going to scrape the sides down here from where I poured it. And when you're blending multiple colors, you always want to start with the lighter color and work your way up to the darker colors. That way you don't have to change out your stick blender with each color. So here, I'm not looking to blend this. Again, this already has the lye in it, and I'm not looking to blend it forever. I want it to just enough to start turning into soap. That way I have some time to work with it. Here we go. So I don't know if the camera actually picks it up, but now it is a lighter color, and it's kind of the same thing when I'm just stirring it. I'm looking for just an even consistency, no kind of different shades of oils here throughout. And so it did get lighter on me. I can tell it is completely blended, and that is all I need it to be right now. All right, so we'll move this to the side. Now, I'm going to do my purple first, and then our green. You can already tell it's getting thicker, so here we go, guys. I'm going to burp it so it doesn't pull in a bunch of air bubbles. And I'm just going to kind of pulse it and stir, because it's such a small amount here that a little bit of blending is actually going to do a lot. Get it off the bottoms. Okay, that is good. Now the green, same thing. Alright, just a couple more seconds. There we go. Alright, so now let's just make room for these molds and start building this soap. We're going to do a layer of white, and then we're going to do green, white, purple, white. So it's a lot of layering, but isn't it pretty? Alright, so just a little bit of white on the bottom here. And if you've heard me say it before, just keep stirring this stuff before you pour it. It just helps with any potential ricing. Just keeps it moving, keeps it thinner longer. So that's actually a really nice consistency here. Let's do it. So not a lot. We want to save room for all of these layers. Oh, it smells good. Love that. Alright. Smooth it out. There's a little air bubble there. Okay, so now we're going to start layering with the green. Again, give it a little stir. I do have this spoon here for the purple. Okay. Alright, now because it is too thin to just kind of pour in, I am going to pour it over the spatula. Let's see how I do this the best so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let's do it this way. And I want kind of a wider base here, so I'm going to go back and forth, and it's just going to fall off of the tip of that spatula. Oof, but not using too much because I need, well, I'm making 2 soaps and I need 2 layers of it, and some for the topping, which I haven't even started talking about the topping yet. It's one of my favorites. Come on, it's getting thicker. It's a little bit harder to come out the thicker it gets. And it happens quick once it starts. See how that works? Just going back and forth gives it a wider area there. See, so I'm going to just keep stirring everything. Keeping it smooth. Give this another stir. Oh, it's just a pretty consistency. So, another spatula. And I'm going to pour this over the spatula to not disturb completely that green layer. And I don't want a lot, because again we got 2 more layers on top of this. You get carried away, you won't have your top layer. Be no room. Perfect. And again. I wish you guys could smell this one. Now all I'm going to do is come through and just kind of pat it down, making sure in all of those edges there's not going to be any air bubbles, and just kind of evens it out a little. Alright, give it a little quick stir, and again. Now I'm going to check it here. If I don't have to do it over the spatula, I would prefer that, and it's getting thicker, so I might be safe. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's not going through. Perfect. Just back and forth. You guys can already tell it's going to be a pretty little sage bush, can't you? You don't need a whole bunch for the topping. Just a little. I'm going to throw some blobs here and there to give it some color on the top. Alright, now just so it's all good for my topping, I am going to just kind of scrape the sides down a little bit and give it a little stir and set it to the side. And again, stir my purple Brazilian here. Keep it moving, guys, keep it moving. Stir the white. Had I let this sit, or even the purple Brazilian for that matter, I have not been using that one, so it's the thickest out of the 3, even though I had been stirring it, but again, less movement in that dish. But had I not been stirring it like I am, it'd be much, much thicker. It really, really does a lot of good keeping it a little bit thinner. So same thing, I am going to use the spatula here because I don't want it to disrupt my line there. I want that line to stay right there until I break through it with my hanger. Okay. leave some space here. Just smooth it out. Pat it down. And now we're ready for the purple layer. Now this is really thick. I don't know that I'm going to get a lot of pouring here, but we're going to try it. I think my lines will be too thick and I won't have enough to get through all of it, but let's see. Okay. Moving quick, moving quick. So I'm leaving some gaps here. I'm very aware of it. I will come back through and either smooth it or add more, but I don't want to risk using too much of it. Okay, nice. Now we'll just gauge how much I got here. Actually can use a little more right here. Alright. So now I am going to just kind of smooth it over a little. When you cut the bar open, I don't want there to not be a purple spot, so. Okay. And now, of course, give it a stir. We are ready just to layer the rest on here. So at this point we're filling the molds. And now I get my awesome tool, and it is so amazing for scraping the sides. It gets just about every last bit. And now I can pour just right on top of the white, kind of just filling in where it needs a little more. And maybe just a hair more here. That is perfect. Okay, so now we are ready for the design of the soap, and it is a hanger swirl design, and this is what they call a hanger swirl, which is literally copper that my husband bent for me and made sure it fit inside my mold, so it's perfect. They do sell a lot on Amazon. I believe Brambleberry sells some, things like that. However, the ones that I purchased were really flimsy and just really small, and just did not achieve what I was trying to achieve. So anyway, this is my hanger swirl that my awesome husband made for me. And what we're gonna do is go, okay, right? So right about this whole area is the colors, the green, green, purple. So I'm looking to get 2 in there. So down right here, over, up, right, and then again over just a little bit more from where that one was, down, over, up, and then to keep most of the soap right here in this mold, I do this, because it just seems like the logical thing to do, to get soap all over your fingertips. There we go. And it is the perfect consistency also for the design to turn out real nice. Because like I was saying, if it's too thick, it literally cuts right through, and I would see a gaping hole here, all the way to the bottom. But it is thick enough to where it actually is grabbing onto those colors and pulling them through the white, but not so thick that it leaves the gaping holes, and not so thin that it doesn't even really affect anything in there and you're not making a design anyway. So that is all. as far as the swirls I want in there. So again, just keep this soap in this mold here. And because I disrupted it here in the middle and here on the sides, I'm going to come back through and I'm going to pat it down, and you don't have to worry about it ruining your design because it won't. Obviously don't put your spatula all the way to the bottom of it because that's going to not give you the desired effect, but smooth it out. Same over here. Okay, we're looking good, guys. Okay, so let me just clean up my edges real quick. Okay, back to the topping. Here is the purple. So what I'm going to do is in the bottom of my dish, I'm going to divvy it up. So it's just kind of an eyeballing thing. What I'm going to do is try to just make it obvious for me, half and half, because I want half on this one and half on the other. And what am I going to do? I'm going to blob it on here. Making sure to not get carried away. You can always come back and add more, but you want to make sure you get all these blobs throughout the whole soap. So. You'll see why the blobs don't have to be too pretty. Just need the colors on there. Go. And same thing with the green. Just gonna blobber on, blah 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 blah. I'm going to blob it on there. Just giving myself some sort of visual here to what might be half and half. Now we're just going around. Aren't those colors so pretty together? It is no wonder it is a favorite. And again, just all the benefits that sage actually has. I'm feeling calmer already, guys. Just the aromatherapy of making this soap, amazing. Okay, I got a little more green. May as well use it here and there where I can. Okay, so all the blobs are down, and now we get to design it. So I'm going to try to, however, let me just explain that. What I'm going to try to do is put it down here and drag some of it, but also kind of pattern it down further into the white, the green and the purple. And that way some of it stays, and then I kind of lift up too. So if that makes any sense. Let's see, we'll start right here. I'm going to just kind of put it down and come over. Like so. There we go. And it just mixes those colors together and makes it, I think, a lot prettier than say if it was just the white top. And it just looks really natural, authentic, naturally beautiful. See, what I meant, like, so if I push that blob down, it doesn't move completely, because if I had my spoon like this, I'm just going to be moving all those blobs right into the center, and I'm not trying to achieve that. So So that's why I kind of press it in there and then do my little swippy. Okay. And the same thing on this side. Ugh, I love it. Check her out. I don't know what it is about that topping. The whole sage bar, to be honest. All right, we're gonna give you guys another round here. Check it out. So pretty. I love it. All right, guys, so that is how you make our awesome sage bar. Head on over to the Etsy shop. And other than that, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all again very soon.